Welcome back, and thank you so much for remaining with us. We are still monitoring the stock performances here as of the close of the markets last Friday. And our comments from some of the people, of course, people are concerned with probably how can I be able to track the performance based on these stock performances using my smartphone. And now, of course, there are several avenues you can try utilizing, but one of them is the Uganda Securities Exchange website, and definitely they will give you current information in real-time data regarding these particular stocks, and they help you to be able to utilize your resources that are accessible to you as an individual to be able to monitor and track performance. But also you can visit the companies, the several exchanges where these companies are listed. For example, if it's a cross-listed company from Nairobi, you can also visit the Nairobi Stock Exchange and find out how this stock is doing on their exchange, and also looking at the performance of this stock in regards to the Uganda Securities Exchange, and you can compare and contrast. It's a free market. You can always be able to diversify and invest elsewhere on the market. We don't have to always necessarily invest via the Uganda Securities Exchange, and definitely that gives you also risk diversification and helps you to kind of get rid of the fear of losing and putting all your money in one basket. But before we went into the break, we were still looking into the Stanbic Bank counter, and this is a very interesting counter. Of course, this year they were able to issue the dividend finally to their shareholders of over 100 billion Ugandan shillings, and that includes 50 billion for the year 2021 and 50 billion for the year 2022. But earlier on, if you were following, and if you were following before the pandemic, the stock markets, you can see that Stanbic Bank was actually declaring much higher dividends before the pandemic. But because of restrictions from Bank of Uganda and regulations here and there, you see that they were unable to meet that just in time for the 2022 and 2021 financial results. By the time they came out, they were unable to fulfill that, and we see probably, in my opinion, this could have been one of the factors that maybe discouraged some investors, and you see people selling a lot, and you see the stock prices also going down. But I can tell you one thing for sure, that this is a very, very, very promising company when it comes to the stock market, in my own opinion, because it's a company that has been here for long. 2007, since 2007, it has been listed on the exchange, and we see its performance, much as it looks to be much more in the red, but still creating opportunity for investors to invest in it and be able to start building capital for the long term, investors, that is to say. Now, looking at the trading volumes, in terms of traded volumes in the past 3 months, the Stanbic Bank Uganda comes in the 5th position as the most traded stock in Uganda Securities Exchange over the past 3 or so months, since April 14th and to July 22nd, 2022. Stanbic Bank Uganda has traded on a total of over 9.5 million shares valued at 218 million Ugandan shillings over this period, with an average of 150,716 shares per session, and a volume high of 1.7 million shares that were traded, of course, on the May the 20th for the same period. Now, of course, looking into the volumes here, how they're distributed, we see that on the 22nd of July, they traded over 684,300 shares, and that is how this price came down to this. And then looking also at the 20th of July, they traded about 50,000 shares, and they ended with a 20.2 shillings closing price, and then 14,000. So regarding how tradable this stock is, it looks quite tradable with quite a number of transactions on a daily, and definitely we can say that you can easily find people buying or selling this stock. Then when we monitor the performance of the other counters that are competing within the same sector, that is the financial services sector, there are 7 in number, and they include Bank of Baroda, Uganda, they include KCB Bank, NIC, DFCU, Centum, and the like. But compared to all these, in terms of year-to-date performance, this particular stock has lost 22.9%, and none of these except Centum Investment has lost more, which is about 27.9%. But like I said, a very, very promising company here when we are talking about Stanbic Bank Uganda. And right now with 20,000 shillings, you are able to almost buy about 1,000 shares. And definitely this is what we are talking about when we talk about the buying. Right now you want to buy this stock and be able to keep it patiently and sell later on. But that is it for Stanbic Bank Uganda Limited, and we can see that this is the stock that lost most. But we also had Centum, who came in at 0.24 Uganda shillings loss. That's a 0.07% loss as well, and you can see that on the graph on your screen. Centum Investments came in down there as the last bottom loser, but the second last bottom loser. But you can see that also his pricings have been falling for quite some time from the month of September 2021, from averages of about 500 Ugandan shillings to averages of 400 in the year 2022 January, and then to the prices of as low as 320 as we are seeing today at the month of July. But Centum, as you can see, has also been a company that has lost a value on average since last year, and we can say that it's an investable company, but definitely for the long term, if you're willing to wait a little bit longer to see that their pricings can go up again. And now that is regarding those particular stocks, but there were other stocks, of course, that traded on the market. We can see here on the screen, we see Bank of Baroda Uganda, who traded at 85 Ugandan shillings, but didn't have any tradings and closed the market with the same price. And we can see that there was no percentage change also in the pricings there for Bank of Baroda. And then British American Tobacco Uganda at 15,000 also did not have that much activity, and nothing was traded, and also the prices did not move. And then when we move to Centum, Centum lost by 0.24 as we have seen to 320.57, but there was also no trade volumes there. Then Cipla, Quality Chemical Industries Limited, at 70 Ugandan shillings. We can see that there was no volume still traded there for Cipla Quality Chemicals, and we see that the price also was maintained at 70. Cipla is the only pharmaceutical company listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange, and has been listed also since around 2017. And yes, it is something you can also consider buying stock in for now. Then DFCU Bank at 550 also did not have any volumes traded as well. East African Breweries, as you can see, came in at 53.92% gain, shillings gain. And then we see Equity Bank also among the gainers, KCB, Kenya Airways, all those came in at the gaining side. Also MTN came in as a gainer at 4.72 Ugandan shillings appreciation in price to end the day with 189.72, but traded a total volume of over 521,717 shares. NIC, National Insurance Corporation, moving on, had a price of 6 shillings and traded a volume of 17,800 shares on Friday. And then Nation Media Group came in at 596.63 and gained by 16.85 Ugandan shillings. New Vision Printing and Publishing Company at 155 Ugandan shillings also did not trade any volumes and also did not have any movements in pricings. Then Stanbic Bank Uganda at 20.04 Ugandan shillings actually traded 84,000 shares. And Umeme at 200 shillings also gained, didn't have any gains, but traded up a total of about 1,707 shares. At the last day of trading, we can say that on the Uganda Securities Exchange, a total of 1,225,000 shares were traded, and these corresponded to a market value of 113.14 million approximately, and the current market capitalization is 21.4 trillion Ugandan shillings. In the aggregate, 4 Uganda Securities Exchange Limited listed equities participated in trading, ending with 7 gainers and 2 bottom losers. Nation Media Group led the gainers at a 2.91% share price appreciation, closing at 596.63 Ugandan shillings per share, followed by MTN at 2.55% gain, while Equity Bank came in at 1.26% gain, and East African Breweries at 1.21% gain. The losers, as we have said, Stanbic Bank also came in at the last company, and followed by Centum Investments from the bottom. Stanbic, however, recorded the highest volume of 684.3 shares that were traded, and then we have National Insurance Corporation at 17,000, while Umeme at 1,000 came in last. Also there regarding these traded volumes. Regarding the performance of the USE market indices, the benchmark index, that is the Uganda Securities Exchange All Share Index, increased by 13.09 points, and that was 1.06%. If you can just have a look at that index here on the screen, as you can see, the index went up by 13.09 points, and that was about a 1.06% gain. You can see that index moving from 1,000, almost 1,500 points in last year into 1,400 and then 1,200 points, and right now we can see it picking up as we move upwards to the 1,300 mark, but currently the points are at 1,243.61. And remember, this particular index monitors or tracks the performance of all the listed equities on the Uganda Securities Exchange. And now, regarding also the performance of the index, there was a 1-week loss of 0.55% and a 4-week gain of 8%, but an overall year-to-date loss of 12.46%. The USE Local Company Index, monitoring the domestic equities here in Uganda, also increased by 1.36% and came to reach about 276.18 points, making it a 1-week loss of 1.1% and a 4-week gain of 0.97%. And that brings us to the end of the Uganda Securities Exchange. The data we just shared is courtesy of the Uganda Securities Exchange, and these are of course mandated and incorporated since 1997 to be able to list equities, to list securities like treasury bonds and bills on the main board of the market and be able to have the public access them. You can visit them on the USE website, that is www.use.com, or you can visit www.use Easy Portal to open yourself a Securities Central Depository account, and this is absolutely entirely free of charge, and you can be able to trade on this particular market and enjoy like other investors are. Now, let's move into our story for the day. We can say that the Kenya Airways government has taken over the 868 million US dollar Kenya Airways debt. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Kenya Airways has been suffering a lot of debt, and we have seen a various impact of this on the airline itself, but also on the staff members of the airline and some of the top managers, of course, not being able to receive remunerations and other difficult problems that the company has encountered. Now, this report comes in to mention that the government of Kenya could take over this debt that is worth over 868 million US dollars. Now, Kenya has the government of Kenya has decided to take on this debt of close to 868.7 million US dollars that is owed by Kenya Airways. The International Monetary Fund IMF revealed through its country report for Kenya, number 22/232, dated July 22, 2022, that the government is in discussions with Kenya Airways KQ creditors that over the proposed debt acquisition. The guaranteed and unguaranteed debt totaling up to 868.7 million as of March 2022 are expected to be serviced by the government, according to IMF. The mission urged the authorities to advance their loan agreement with the KQ to ensure that financial support via the budget is effectively linked to commitments to deliver on the KQ reforms. In its 2021 annual report, Kenya Airways said that the state, through a letter of support, has committed to continue providing financial support to implement its recovery program and meet its financial obligations for the next 12 months. The government has also initiated a bailout program that will, among other things, inject some cash for budgetary support and take novation of some of the long-term loans, according to the airline. This program is in part aimed at improving the cash flows in the short run and also support a restructuring program with a view to make the business profitable and sustainable in the long term. Kenya Airways is cutting costs by delaying director and staff pay, reducing and deferring capital expenditure, and increasing discretionary spending. It has also increased focus on cargo business and has already converted 2 passenger aircrafts to increase capacity. KQ's losses for the year ended December 31st, 2021 were up to 15.87 billion Kenyan shillings, approximately 134.49 million, down from 36.21 billion Kenyan shillings. That's about 306.86 million US dollars in 2020. Its negative working capital position was 55.78 billion. That's about 472.71 million US dollars from 58.15 billion, and that was about 492.79 million US dollars within the same period. And those are the reports, of course, coming in from Kenya there. IMF saying that Kenyan government will have to come in and step in for Kenya Airways to be able to pay that extra debt that, of course, the company suffers. Of course, the pandemic came and found the company in a very vulnerable position then, because it still had a lot of debt that it was dealing with. But then These were exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic that saw the company as well come down in terms of debt and increasing the debt at which the company was. And we are seeing that the Kenyan government, if it comes in, this will come in handy for the company and help the company probably to grow even more from out of debt into the skies. And now this brings us to the end of our current bulletin here. And definitely with Smart 24, you can keep tuned for more business news that comes in each and every period here on the TV here. So you can always catch the show Monday to Friday, exactly 10 to 1 p.m. And next, of course, will be Fred Makuya, who will be coming in with UG Tukole. But definitely you can also catch other shows like Skill Up later on in the day, Jen Kolera with Hassan and the like. All the business content that you would want to find can be found here on Smart 24 TV. Thank you very much for remaining with us. If you would want to keep in touch, you can always follow me on my Twitter handle, that is at Anthony Sebale, and then you can also visit our Facebook page at Smart 24 TV Official and Instagram at Smart24 TV _, and then you can be able to interact with us and give us your feedback. I'll catch you tomorrow, but remember, start investing. Start with the smallest money you can get your hands on and invest that little, and then your appetite for investment will go up. But the moment you feel you cannot invest the big money, don't worry. You need to start with the smallest bits of money that you're putting together. Start investing, start saving, and make a fortune. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.